these affiliate scum. No, I'm just kidding.
Fight inwards.
No, seriously, I think this is gonna. I don't know. I feel like I have a differing opinion from a lot of partners, but I think in this, like, we at least did work hard to get partnership, and then there's a few of us for a reason, and especially with certain affiliate perks kind of matching a little bit to partners. I'm not trying to say that you guys are, whatever, but like when I got partnered, there was no affiliate program. It was either nothing or your partner. So now that we have affiliates, you have sub badges, you've got some emotes, you've got a revenue stream. The gap is closing. So Twitch needs to find a way to still incent partners for being partners. So yeah, I mean, it's there's going to be a discrepancy between affiliates and partners, and if you want to backpack, just work.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe next year you get find a partner who doesn't want theirs, doesn't have their name on it, and just buy it from them.
Yeah, and then scrape off that partner part because you haven't earned that part yet.
Or just keep it in the closet until you get,
Exactly. Yeah, like this is my release party of my backpack. I finally got partnered. This is 2 years old, but that's fine. So yeah, I kind of agree because there are a lot of things that are similar between affiliates and partner. Originally it was pretty much just I know there's different percentages that you get from subs and everything as a partner, but pretty much at first it was there was sub badges and a check mark, and that was pretty much it. And now it's getting even closer because affiliates have sub badges and everything, and it's just what really separates being a partner is as far as a random viewer is concerned, aside from that one check mark. It's really not anything aside from priority on whether or not you get different qualities in your stream. I mean, there's really nothing.
Well, I don't know if this is right because I'm not a partner, but can't they kind of negotiate their because right now for me it's half and half, Twitch gets half, I get half, but I've heard that partners can negotiate their percentage, I get.
Eventually.
Okay.
So the base, so for me, I'm a very low level partner, I'm the first to admit. So my tier 1 I get 50-50, tier 2 I think I get 60-40.
Oh, so
tier 3 is 70-30. So if someone subs tier 3, I mean, I get 70% of it,
nice.
which is pretty nice, but it's very rare. And then at some ridiculous level, if you've got several hundred subscribers, you can usually at least renegotiate the contract or something like that, but I'm nowhere near that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw some people saying that as an affiliate they work their ass off trying to stream and everything, and I totally understand that, and I saw who said it, but one thing you have to remember is that affiliates aren't the only people working their ass off. Partners had to work their ass off, and partners still work their ass off, to get where they have gotten and to still be growing. So it's not like they're in a totally different boat where they've had it easy or anything. And most of the partners that are around right now are partners they've been partners since before there was an affiliate program. So they had an even more difficult start. So you have to remember that they weren't making money from we'll say from the second month or something like that. It was a grind originally. It was partner and that was it. That's the only thing that really mattered. But now it's a lot easier to make money on Twitch. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely. There's no question at all about that. 3 viewers, 50 followers, and 12 hours of streaming a week, or not even. It's not even that. It's something crazy.
Yeah.
Response to someone else who said, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't want to bag on affiliates because I am an affiliate, but it is super easy to get affiliate at this point. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but you could literally open up your stream on your phone and your tablet and reach the 3 viewer minimum, which I think there are ways that Twitch needs to fix that. But when Twitch came out with the sub badges for affiliates, I remember I got in 4 fights with different partners because they were really mad about it, really just fuming about the Twitch or the sub badges, and I was like, what? This just doesn't make sense. But I lost 4 friends because of that, because they just did not enjoy the sub badges, and I felt we get 3 of them, so it's not I don't know, it's just different. But I guess there are ways that they're becoming more alike.
Right. Well, for sure. And the thing is, like, it's so similar, but it's so far away. Like the gap between getting affiliate and getting partner is so vast. It's like it's a huge difference in numbers that you have to get basically the same things as a partner gets. And it's interesting to see, and it brings out a lot of people who are just like, I need more viewers, please come just lurk in my channel. And like that's like it's bringing out a lot more people who have this mentality of just give me your lurk, that's all I need, just give me more lurks. And they're going to be super like not humble about it, you know what I mean? Like everyone's just trying to get that next dollar and that next viewer, it seems like.
Right,
Exactly.
and the environment's totally different now too, because you have that achievement dashboard. So
Mm-hmm.
you know where you're at. You know, okay, I'm averaging 50 viewers over the last 30 days. I need to really amp it up. I need to ask people, whatever you do.
Hmm.
I never had that. I had to just kind of hope and guess. Now I kind of got in at a weird time when creative was really coming off the ground, and I got lucky, but well, partially lucky, I'll say. But like okay, I'm approaching 75 viewers, and you see it all the time on Twitter. People posting screenshots. Congratulations, you've made path to partner. Click this button to apply. I never had that. I had to fill out an application. I had to have references. I had to,
What?
hope, and then I get a generic robot email saying, "Please try again later. We love what you're doing, though." So
Hmm.
so you actually have an actual set goal. So yeah, people coming out saying, "Hey guys, come drop a lurk. I need I need to average more viewers this month."
Hmm.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I hope partner streamers start getting more than what they currently have. Like not just more money or anything, but I think there needs to be something that really separates a partner streamer from an affiliate. And you know, because affiliate to non-affiliate is like there's obviously a huge gap there between like what you
Hmm.
get. But there's not too much of a difference for partnered and affiliates. But we have a caller now. Actually, I'm gonna pull her down real quick. Meemaw, you there?
I am.
What she got for us today?
Ooh. I was wondering if you, after a stream, import to or export, sorry, export to YouTube. Do you guys break up your videos into chunks, and how long of a chunk is a 15-minute chunk too short? Is a half hour, or an hour chunk too long? So if you take your streams, export them to YouTube, do you break them up, and do you find broken up ones get more views than just the whole stream
Okay.
exported as one?
So, what are you trying to accomplish out of putting your videos on YouTube? Like, is it you just want the stream, or are you trying to do stream highlights, or what is it exactly you're trying to put on YouTube? I guess.
Well, for my channel, I had
Yes.
the YouTube channel prior to the streaming.
Okay.
So I kind of use it for, I guess, legacy viewers of, like I have so many legacy viewers of the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Just let them see, some content. But it's really more of a, hey, look at all the fun we're having streaming, but I don't have the time at the moment to actually edit a highlights, like a 7-minute highlight.
Right. Okay. So, I guess what do you guys think about that? We'll start out with you, Chef. Do you do any exporting to YouTube after your streams?
I used to. I did recently for a Dead Space 2 playthrough. I did, but I used to as well. And what I found personally is that yeah, just dumping a 4-hour stream on YouTube is super easy, but most people are going to be intimidated by a 2-hour runtime. One thing I heard when I was watching a video one time was this guy. He wasn't exporting streams, but just creating normal YouTube content. Was trying to keep his videos, gameplay videos, around 20 to 30 minutes so that people on a lunch break could watch the whole thing.
Hmm.
So if you are able to break up a stream into, I'd probably say between 20 and 45 minutes, depending on how long your stream is. I mean, it could end up being a lot of work. Um, Keeping that in mind, most people either have a 30 or an hour lunch break, and they'd rather watch one full thing than a portion of one really long thing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. How about you, Kenzie?
I've never done it. I upload like clips of like dramatic points in my streams basically to YouTube, but I think it's a really good idea. If I were to do it, I think I would break it up and so it's like at least 15 minutes, but probably not longer than that because me personally, I don't watch YouTube videos that are like an hour long, you know?
Right.
So I definitely break it up so it's shorter.
Okay. Yeah, and I've done this in the past. I've actually had, well, I mean, only one so far, but I'm planning on doing it again. But if you have the luxury of being able to have someone edit a video for you, or if you have the extra time to edit a video for you, I think a stream highlights thing is a good idea. And if you don't have enough content out of one stream, you could do like maybe a video or two, you know, a week or even less than that if you need to, and just clip as many fun moments from your stream together as possible, and just export that to YouTube. That way you're not worrying about you know, any dead space in there or anything. Like that way, like the content is all enjoyable and, you know, and funny or whatever, like whatever the content is that you're trying to put on there. Just make sure that it's like consistent. So if you were to clip your stream and put them all into one video, I think it's the best way to do it.
Agreed.
Anything else for that, Mima? Any questions or anything?
Oh no, I just was wondering, you know, what others did and if they found, you know, breaking it up versus a large chunk had a different on viewership. My viewership
Right.
on the videos is so low, it's really hard to tell. I did
Okay.
a 15-minute chunk on a 4-hour stream, and it turned into like this month-long series that
Okay.
people watched like the first 3 15-minute chunks and then nothing on, you know, the rest is what I
Interesting.
expected, so.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like the general consensus is like, I mean, at the max 30 minutes, and then, you know, like you wouldn't want anything on there like an hour or anything like that. So I think max 30 minutes. I shoot for like 10 roughly, I think, when I try to do videos. But anywhere between, you know, 10 and 30 I think is a good chunk of time.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to try out now after what you guys have said, not worrying that, you know, I'm not posting every day to YouTube, but make it quality. Make a highlight, take time on the weekend maybe and make a nice highlight video that's maybe only 7 minutes, and
Right.
you know, that would probably be more better to view as a YouTube
Right.
consumer, and more of a, hey, this is, you know, really good, let me go check out the stream.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the more time of the video that takes up just highlights instead of, you know, the dead space or any time where you're just like sitting there playing the game, I think the more time you have of like you having like a fun moment on your stream, more of that you can show in a video the better, and the less of the other, you know what I mean? So I think spending some time on the weekends editing those videos together and like focusing on the highlights, I think will be very beneficial for you.
Yeah, great. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Thank you. Have a great
Yeah,
day.
you're welcome.
All right, let's see. So MPI in the chat says, very much to piggyback off of what Vel just said, if you're going to hire someone to edit your stuff, please have clips ready if you want a montage. As a freelance editor, if you just hand me your week's worth of streams that are all like 4 to 5 hours each, that video isn't getting done. Yeah, absolutely. You can't just fork over hours and hours and hours of video and expect someone to just like figure it out. Like, that's not a thing. So valid point, MPI. I appreciate that. Don't forget, guys, this is Phone In Friday, so if anybody wants to call in, ask any questions, please let us know. So I want to talk about something real quick, guys, just as a filler topic, I guess, because we're just waiting on some questions. But have you guys ever had to deal with a moment in like streaming where you're suffering from like not being motivated at all to even like press that start button or anything? Like, has there ever been a time where you're just like, maybe this isn't what I should be doing, you know, things aren't going well, anything like that?
Are you saying like in general, or just like it happens to, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting, and I can't even talk apparently. But I haven't had a moment or moments where I thought, you know, I'm gonna stop streaming altogether. But I have had days where I'm like, holy crap, I just need to. I like my community to tell you, like, I'm like #1 in the world NA Twitch canceller, because like like it's hard, especially if I'm cooking, because in the kitchen it's so much harder to actually be productive in a bad mood, because I have to complete stuff. In some cases it's like I need to rely on feeding my family using the food from the stream, and if I just don't feel like turning it on, using air quotes for those listening, to be an entertainer, it's hard. I put a lot of energy into my stream, and if I just don't feel like it that night, I'll be the first person to say, like, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to turn it on tonight, so I'm not going to stream.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
that's
that
what
makes
you
sense.
were asking.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, everybody has like their own like different issues that they have with turning on the stream sometimes. Kenzie, have you had anything like that?
I have recently, because before I was just a college student that didn't have like a job, and so I was like, streaming is a job, I think, but like, so I would go to my classes and then I would stream, right? But then I recently got like a part-time job, and even though it's part-time, I'm like, ugh, like I come home and I want to sit and watch Netflix. I don't, and I've streamed before when I'm in a bad mood, and it just like you could see it. Like I rewatched the stream and I can just tell that, like, why would you want to watch this? So yeah, it was like last December, I think, where I didn't stream for like a whole month because I was just, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, and I was kind of depressed because, well, not, I wouldn't say depressed, but I wasn't. My dog is crying. Sorry. I'm not crying. My dog's crying. Yeah, I know. So I've been in that spot before, but I feel like if you're playing the game and you're in a good mood, like, why not just stream it? Or if you're cooking, and I don't know, I feel like you always come back to Twitch, like you always come back to RuneScape, because it's a good. I have so many friends on here that I don't ever want to not come back to Twitch, if that makes sense. So I've been there, but I don't know. I came back from it, so.
Okay. How did you come back from that then? Like, what was
my friends.
miss your friends? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Like, I've had issues like that too, where like I had started streaming for a while, and then there was like a moment in time where I came back from a 2-week break. I went and did some extra training for Army stuff, and so I came back, and none of my viewers were there. And it was just the first day. Like, it was just the first day I was back. I was like, I don't have anybody. Like, this sucks. And so, but I'd only been streaming for like maybe 2 or 3 months at the time. But I came back, I was missing everybody, and I was like, well, that sucks. And then like it totally put me in like this like huge slump where I was just like down in the dumps about everything. And then it's one of those things where like you just had to like pick yourself back up, because I didn't really have those friends on Twitch quite yet. That I was like, man, I put in all this time and like met all these cool people. Like, I hadn't really had that yet, And so it was like one of those things where I had to like kind of kick my own ass, if you will, and get back into gear essentially. But yeah, it's cool. Thank you for sharing your guys' stories with it. I really do appreciate it. We got another caller, Mr. Pure Instinct, coming on down. What's going on, MPI?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What you got for us today?
We always talk about directories being, oversaturated, Fortnite, what have you. So, what do you guys think is a good option when you ask your viewers, hey guys, we're about to finish up this story game, what should we play next? And a few people have brought up Spider-Man, which is, obviously huge right now. So what would be a good way to handle that? Should you kind of take the hit and say, well, we're going to be in this oversaturated directory for a while and may not see a lot of growth, but these people who are already here are going to be happy and get to see it? Or should you say, well, guys, we're going to limit ourselves a little bit with that. Maybe we should shift over to something a little less popular for the time being and maybe come back to Spider-Man later on? What do you think is a good middle ground there?
Okay, and this is your people telling you that they want you to play it basically like right now. Like,
yeah, it's like,
okay.
I always, whenever we're about to finish up a story game, I always ask like, hey guys, does anyone have suggestions of what to do next? And then I try to put together a poll of 2 to 3 games, just so that way I'm not saying we're playing this game, like it or not.
Right.
So it's come up from a few people. Not everyone has said they want to see it, but a few people have, with other games kind of mixed in there.
Okay. So I guess Kenzie, what do you think about this?
I would say if you have a group of people telling you to play it, and you want to play it, like why not play it? Because they're gonna be there to watch you, you know, unless you're going for like a lot more viewers or to be like noticed or something like that. You have your community that's willing to watch, you know. So maybe like play it at the end of the stream, like you said you do anyways when you take your poll. But I would say go for it because why not? It's not gonna hurt, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Chef, what do you think, man?
This is where I think my opinion might differ a little bit. I'm a firm believer. So at that point, you have the choice as the creator. You have the choice. Do you focus on audience retention or audience growth? So, but one can become the other. So if you say, you know, if you have a majority of your community saying play Spider-Man, it looks amazing, and we'd love to watch you play it. In my opinion, if that was me, I'm playing Spider-Man because I know that, you know, there's going to be another opportunity to grow, but you can almost convert a casual viewer to a long-term viewer by doing something like that, like either subconsciously, hey, he voted on, and you know, we voted on Spider-Man. He may not want to really play it because it's so saturated, but he's doing it anyway because he said he would and we wanted him to. He's doing it, man of his word. Awesome. That can go a long way. Also, you know, everybody will play that game differently, I imagine. You know, so, and then when you do change games, those people that maybe were there and wanted you to play Spider-Man will stick around when you play something else. And you may also still get some growth from playing a saturated game. It's obviously, you just have to have I think you just have to have your expectations in check. Versus growth now or retain now and hope to grow with something else a little bit later.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
To add to that, I did play Fortnite which is like, you know, it's a super oversaturated game on Twitch, and there are some streamers that if you're going for views, that will go through and host like tiny streamers. I was streaming with Fortnite and I had like 5 viewers, I think, and Valkyrie hosted me. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but I had like it was crazy. So there are people that will like go out of their way to like try to help smaller streamers if you're worried about just an oversaturated game and nobody coming in that's new, because there are ways to get noticed in an oversaturated game field, I guess. Game field, is that the right
directory? Okay, yeah, for sure.
Happens.
Yeah, and so one thing that Chef had touched on, and I want to add a little bit to that, is like taking care of what you have currently, showing those viewers that want you to play a specific game, showing them that, you know, you're here to take care of them, I think is huge, because you don't want them to leave you. Like, you can definitely solidify someone being a viewer of your stream if they request you to play something and you do it. At the same time, if it's a game that you legitimately don't want to play just because you don't want to play the game, you don't think you'll have fun, by all means don't do it. Only play games that sound fun to you, but take care of your viewers that you have, because they're the reason why you're there in the first place. And then also, when you go into a flooded directory, there's like, yeah, there's going to be so many other streamers that they could watch, but you just have to provide the best content that you can and try to be as different from the other streamers in that directory as you can. So set yourself apart, and don't worry so much about other streamers playing specific games. Just worry about you and your community. It's basically the best advice that I think everybody here is kind of giving you.
Okay, sure. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Any other questions, man?
Well, since it doesn't look like I don't see anyone on deck, we can talk about another one.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
Let's go.
If you think you're going to have fun with a game, play it. What do you do whenever you get, I don't know, halfway through like a story game and you just hate the gameplay, but the story is amazing? How do you just suck it up like, man, this game is frustrating, but in the end it's going to pay off, like we're going to see a great cutscene? Or are you just like, I'm rage quitting, I'm throwing the controller, I'm out?
I kind of know
because that's what I just ran into.
Yeah, because you and I were talking a little bit about this, but so what do you guys think in this specific instance? It's different for sure. It's a tough question.
And I will say that we finished the game. There were definitely moments where we all agreed, like, this is very frustrating, and like, oh man, that was like total bullcrap that you died that way. And then it was like, once we would get past a point, like everyone kind of rallied together in chat, and they were like, oh hell yeah, we made it, great job. So like, I definitely finished the game, but I don't. If it was, like a 60, 70-hour RPG, I don't think I could have done it.
Right.
This was The Last of Us, so it was
that's
a
what I was going to
20-hour
talk
game,
about.
if that.
Yeah. So I was going to say or use that as my reference because that's my favorite game, but I really hate stealth games, and that's all that game is. So I just lowered it to the easiest setting and I got through it because I wanted to know how it ended, and that was like the easiest way to get through the game. So I don't know, you kind of stole my game.
And that's pretty much exactly what we did. It was like, I'm on the normal difficulty, and I was like, we're gonna have to power through somehow. So there were parts where I was like, I'm just gonna try something different, and would sprint directly through everything.
Yeah.
And somehow it worked out sometimes.
Right. That game and then Uncharted is like almost the same. So yeah, I just did the same thing. My suggestion would just be lower it to easy and push through it, finish the story.
For sure. How about you, Chef?
I don't have much to offer here. The time that I have to stream is very limited due to real life. So like I can only really game for like 2 or 3 hours at a time. So I typically avoid story-based games because it would take me 5 months to get through like anything. Like I thought I would do a Mass Effect playthrough, and oh boy, don't do that. Play 2 to 3 hours at a time. So it wasn't going to work out for me. So I just said, forget it. I can't. I'm not going to have time to get through this. So that is my advice. Don't stream for only 2 or 3 hours and play a story game. So I can't offer too much advice for that.
Okay. All right. So I've recently just started playing single player games, and so far I haven't had to deal with a story or a gameplay or anything that I don't like, because I've been fortunate enough to play. I started out with God of War, and then now I'm on Spider-Man, and they're both excellent games. But at the same time, I think you and your community getting through The Last of Us the way that you did, like we're gonna do this, like even if it sucks and we hate it and like this whole thing is terrible, like we're gonna do this. I think like that kind of like brought you guys together a little bit more than you think it does, because seeing like that person like go through something that just sucks, you know what I mean, but they're doing it, like you're doing it for the viewers. I think that's huge. I think it says a lot to your community on like what you'll do. Like you'll play games that you really don't want to play for them. You know what I mean? Like I think it's really cool that you pushed through and completed that game, to be honest.
Okay, well, cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else, man?
No problem.
I think that's it for now.
All right, man. Take it easy.
See you guys.
All right, looks like we got Sticky Inks in here. I'll pull them down.
All right.
Sticky, how are you today, my man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Always good.
Great.
What you got for us?
So I feel like it's a question that hasn't been asked.
Okay.
If you're getting steady growth, like you feel like it's a good amount of growth, how can you proactively brace yourself for like an upcoming plateau or a drop?
Ooh. Yikes. Okay. Chef, what do you think, man?
So I think okay, so I'm a very honest person just in general, and I think that quality helps. You have to be able to have the ability to be honest with yourself and honest with your expectations. So if very realistically, all good things will eventually come to an end. So if you're experiencing crazy growth, maybe you got just organic growth is an example, or a host and people are trickling in from that after some time, you just have to like it sounds stupid, but just like mentally prepare yourself, like okay, this is really cool, ride the positive while it's happening now, but somewhere in your brain you have to realize like, okay, it's not going to last, and even if it does, you have that expectation that at any point it could plateau or even drop, but you have to be able to, one, enjoy what's happening right now because it's good, and then also just know at some level that this is temporary and things will balance out at some point in the future.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Kenzie?
I can't say I have any good advice for this because I'm not good at dealing with it in general. So we'll just go with what Chef said.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with Chef. Like, you have to be ready for it at any time. Like, we're in like an industry, quote unquote, where nobody has to do anything for us. You know, we're putting all this stuff out here for free, and you can't force anybody to watch you. You can't force anybody to show up every day. You can't force anybody to sub, and nor should you. Like, you shouldn't be that person that's doing that, for one. But anyway, you have to be ready all the time, because no matter what you do to prepare for it, you're probably still gonna, like, 100%. You're still gonna have dips. You're still gonna lose viewers. You're still gonna have plateaus where you're not growing for ungodly amounts of time, and you just have to learn to push through that, and make sure the main thing is have fun streaming, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Have fun streaming, stay on your grind all the time, and just be ready for the next step, and don't ever expect any, like, you could have 30 consistent viewers every day, and maybe one day you have 10, and that's just the way it is, man. Like, there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's just somebody's got something going on, and 10 or 20 other people have the same thing going on in their life on the same day. It's just how it works out. But basically, there's no way to prepare for it to make sure it doesn't happen. It's just it's all a mentality game, to be honest. Anything else? Hope that answered your question for you, Sticky. Any questions or anything?
No, I just figured we'd bring it up. I feel like it's important. But thanks, guys. It was
for sure. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for your question.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, we got KJ coming down. KJ, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. What you got for us?
Perfect.
My question has a bit of backstory. I was born with moderate learning difficulties, and it has bad social skills. So with my stream, I'm okay when it starts. I'm like fine with talking. But when I'm getting into it, it's a bit difficult for me to keep talking when there's only maybe 0 views or 1. I want to know how I can get better at it.
Okay. What do you guys think? We'll start with Kenzie this time.
For me,
Good.
when I'm just like, when nobody's watching my stream, which happens a lot, I just I talk out what I'm doing in the game. Like, I don't make conversation with myself, really. I guess I do, because I just explain what I'm doing, you know? Like, I don't know if you guys play RuneScape, but if I'm going to the Grand Exchange or like gonna go try to get my Slayer up, you just kind of narrate what you're doing in the game, and that I feel like helps a bit, because then when people pop into your stream, it's not like just you like sitting in silence, you know, but you're just vocalizing what you're playing, I guess. If that helps, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Chef?
So for me, I think what people don't really understand, because literally anyone can stream. The barrier of entry is almost nothing. So the uneducated, streaming sounds easy. You play games with or without a camera, and you have chat. The skill is one of the skills, being able to talk and be interesting for an extended amount of time. And not every game is going to be conducive for that. So, like, for instance, I'm playing PoE right now, and it's hard when I'm just smashing enemies that, you know, I just have to either talk about how badly that guy just got hurt, or how I'm about to die, or I'm running over here now and this and that. But it takes practice, and also sometimes playing with another person can be helpful as well, as long as they have the understanding that you're streaming and they can't take over your stream. But having someone to just talk to is obviously a lot more natural than talking to nothing, and would be a lot more interesting for someone jumping into the stream for the first time. Like, if I go into somebody's stream, I'm usually not going to say anything. I lurk all the time, but I won't stick around if it's awkwardly silent, or an extended amount of silence, I should say, unless the game is appropriate for that. But if that person has somebody else on and they're talking and interacting naturally, that's a lot more interesting for me, and I'll likely have a higher likelihood of sticking around and watching the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you have to remember is, like, especially when you're at a low amount of viewers, when there's no chat going on, you're basically a YouTube content creator. Like, you're basically just talking about your game, and you're talking to literally nobody. Like, there might be people that are listening. You might not see them, or, you know, the numbers might not show right away because it takes, I don't know, was it like 30 seconds or something like that for the numbers to actually show when there's a viewer that pops in. But you just gotta remember to be talking as much as you can. Like, just talk about stories. So, talk about how your day went. Talk about something crazy that happened, even if it was 5 years ago. Like, oh yeah, this one time, da 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 da, and just come up with things to say. And I think the more you talk, even if it's about nothing, essentially, like I think it's better than not talking at all. To be honest. I hope that answered your question for you, KJ. Do you have any other questions on top of that?
One more. It's
Yeah.
a little bit different. So I said in the past I mainly play Siege, and I've been playing Siege since I started 3 months ago. But let's see, Siege has a lot of BS moments in the game, and sometimes I will get salty or triggered, but I don't want to get too triggered in a way where that makes the stream bad, but I don't have any other game to play. What would you recommend?
I don't know. Have you guys ever had to deal with, like, I know, like, playing Fortnite, I'm assuming you've probably gotten pretty upset, Kenzie, in the past, and then wanted to kind of just stop. You know what I mean?
I would say just, this sounds bad, but like expect the worst. So if you die, you knew it was coming. I hate Rainbow Six Siege though, so I have no suggestions for that game. Like I'm the calmest person. I'm gonna sound really humble right now, but I'm very easygoing. So I don't get super triggered, but with that game, I do. So I can't help with Rainbow. So good luck with that.
All right, how about
I
you,
hate that
Chef?
game.
How about you, Chef?
I actually have zero experience with that game. But in general, I'd say, like, if we're talking, you get so upset at a game that it makes you not entertaining. That just doesn't sound like a very good game to me. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm not the right person to ask, because I don't really know the dynamics of the game, and anything I say might just be too overly generalized. But like, if you can turn a potentially negative or extremely salty experience into something funny or over the top ish, then that could be good for viewership. Because, like, as an example, I was playing Dead Space. I hate scary game. I don't do scary things, but I had to play it because it was a tip goal. And anytime I got spooked, okay, I was naturally jumpy anyway, but I made sure to turn it up just a little bit, because it's the camera's on. I want to entertain, so yeah, I'm gonna flip and jump out of my chair. When normally, if I was just playing by myself, I might go, "Huh, that was cool." So I think there's an opportunity for entertainment somewhere in there, as long as it's not like so anger inducing that you can't even see past it.
Right. To go off that kind of, there's a subreddit called Livestream Fells, if you guys ever have checked that out. And a lot of people do like overly dramatize their rage moments, like they punch their monitor and do all that stuff just because they think it'll be entertaining. So just don't overplay it, I guess, if that makes sense. Because it can be very
There's like a sweet spot of how much rage you should let out.
Yeah.
And it's not punching the monitor. If you punch your monitor, it's too far.
Yeah.
And I feel like
you've gone too far.
Yeah. I feel like raging is kind of like expected on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, like if you're playing a game, at some point, you should probably be raging. Like, even if you're playing, I don't know, like Hello Kitty Island Adventure or like any random game like that. Like, there should be a moment in that game where like there's one thing that you can't do, and it's just making you mad. Like, I love God of War, but I spent a single hour. I spent a whole hour on one single boss, and I was about to rip my controller in half. And with Siege specifically, I do play a decent amount of Siege, and I've been there and I've raged. At that point, just start having as much fun as you can in the game and play it as however you want. If you want to run around and like go Rambo for that whole game and just use pistols only, like try that out. Maybe that'll make it more entertaining for yourself, and that'll change up the stream a little bit and make it more entertaining for the viewers. But the rage is real, and sometimes you just gotta let it out a little bit. But I hope that answered your question for you, man. Anything else?
So with like some sub events like sub September, like just other like events like that, to me I feel guilty putting like it in my title and like of course put like Twitch Prime like and you can get your sub for free. Like should you do it or am I just being too why about it?
What do you think, Kenzie?
I was gonna say, so I don't. Me personally, when people put that in their title, I don't click on their stream. So, but I have it as like a timed command through Nightbot. You know, like if you have Twitch Prime, you know, you can sub for free. So I don't put it in my title, but I do put it in my chat. I guess like I think it's every hour that it sends the same message. You know. And with the Subsember thing, I would just put exclamation point like Subsember, you know. So if they are interested in what that is, they could type it in your chat and then they could read the message. So they have to actually put effort into it. It's not like you typing out the whole thing in your title, if that makes sense. But I don't usually click on people that are like begging for the sub, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
what about you, Chef?
I think it boils down to personal preference. You know, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. No one's making you. No one's saying you have to put exclamation point Twitch Prime in your title. You know, you have to make a command. No, just do. If you don't like it, then don't do it. If you don't want to have a chat command, don't have a chat command. If you just want to casually every so often, if you think about it, mention Twitch Prime, do it. If you don't feel comfortable, don't. That's the beauty of Twitch. We can do whatever we want to do for the most part, within terms of service. So you know, I mean, ultimately, don't do something that makes you uncomfortable. It's your channel. Do what you want. Have fun.
Absolutely, definitely be comfortable with what you're doing. Because if you're doing something that makes you feel awkward about it, it's probably not going to work out well. Because it's gonna show that you don't like have actual enthusiasm for at least that specific aspect of your stream. I know Sodomi in the chat said make it a meme. You know, like have you guys heard of Twitch Prime? You know, like just like blow it up and kind of make a joke out of it or whatever. Be like, I don't know, just bring it up in a sarcastic way if you want. You can do that as well. Or like Chef said, you don't have to bring it up at all if you don't want. Like that's totally fine. Yeah, man. So it really comes down to personal preference, like he was saying, just what you're comfortable with. Anything else, KJ?
No, that's it.
All right, man. Well, I hope we answer your questions for you, dude.
Yeah.
Have a great day, man. Thanks again.
See ya.
see ya.
Definitely called him Cage, when he was in my stream the other day.
I guess it could be Cage. It could be Cage H. I don't know. It's an interesting name. It's different. Let's get Sodomi in here. He's been waiting for a minute now. Sodomi.
Oh Lord! Oh my God, that's loud. What's up? It's Gucci. Yo, Yeet.
I'm so sorry. What's going on, man?
Yo, I just woke up. I drank a Rockstar. It's not as good as Monster, but it was cheaper. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm trying it out. I don't. It's. Wait, is anyone sponsored by Rockstar here? No.
I am.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
100%. All of us.
All right, so I love this question because I'm thinking about it myself, and it's a fun question. So, what is the best way, do you guys think, is to diversify your content on different platforms? Go.
I'll let Chef go first.
Yep. Chef, you got
you
this.
can't do
This
that.
is. I feel like this is your question, Chef. This just seems like it's directed at you right now.
Diversify. Okay, so the first thing is to have a marketing strategy. So you got to hire a guy to do the work for you. And no, so I'm the thing about that is asking me this question is I'm generally a pretty motivated person when it comes to the stream, but I'm also very lazy. So that's a problem when I want to do stuff. So for instance, my Instagram is really just pictures of my food that I make and my cat. And like I think I have 3 it's like I could be doing so much more on Instagram. I could be doing short, going live videos or stories or whatever. I don't even know. I just post pictures. I'm an old school. I'm like a OG Instagram user, I just post pictures. I've never uploaded a story. I should be doing that for my stream. But just in general, like I do creative IRL cooking stuff, and I do gaming stuff. So just by design on the Twitch platform, I already do different things. So there's a slightly different audience for that. I say slightly. There's an enormously different audience for that for me. So my strategy on Twitter is a little bit different if I'm going to be cooking versus if I'm just going to be popping a game. Like if I'm gaming, sometimes I won't even post that I'm live because I can't be bothered. But if I'm it sounds awful. Like I'm a terrible person. But if when it comes to cooking, the cooking streams are my bread and butter. So I make sure that trust me, food pun game on point.
That was beautiful.
But I always make sure that I'm tweeting aggressively, not too aggressively, that I'm going live. I'm going to be in the kitchen. This is what I'm cooking, or I'll space that information out. I'll say I'm streaming at 5, and then around 4 o'clock I'm streaming in an hour. Here's some of what I'm cooking, and then there's kind of like this reveal when I'm actually live. Like this is the full menu of what I'm doing. I've done go live pictures on Instagram before. I stopped doing that because it was too much work. Like that's the level of laziness we're talking with here. Because I try to also be creative and do things a little differently. So I just I don't know. So maybe I'm not the right person to ask. Maybe that's exactly what people want to hear. So I don't even know. So I'm done. Kenzie, you go.
Well, for me, I'm essentially the same because I do like tweeting when I go live. So I set up this little bot thing that tweets automatically for me, but I don't like it because it's like the same every single time I go live, and I like a little variety. So I don't know how to disable that. I should probably look up how to do it. So I've started tweeting out myself and like adding a little GIF or like adding an explanation of what I'm doing, on stream. But as for Instagram, my Instagram account is like my personal Instagram account. I have like people from high school on it still, so I don't really tweet when I'm live on that. But Snapchat, I do like a little picture, of when I'm live. But as for like diversifying it, I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask this either. Yeah, I'm not very helpful, so.
So I guess the question
It's a good question to think about though, like
yeah, definitely
like trying to grow because I was doing a little bit of experimenting lately, and I found that also no one get on me for this in the chat, please. But I've been looking at Mixer a little bit. It's a little bit.
Just
don't say that too loud.
I know, it's a little bit. So
wait, what was that? I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So,
have you heard of Mixer Prime?
So yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm like, if I kind of split my streams up, because if I do like 3 here, 3 and 2 over on that place, and also if I try to like be more active on my Instagram, because if you guys know, I have an Instagram. I don't post because I hate cell phones. Like what platform? I'm not gonna rant about that today, but yeah, Instagram, Twitter. I've been trying to work on some new YouTube content for Shinobi Strikers. So looking at diversifying, that looks like something I really would help me in the long run. So I was wondering if you guys had any like more ideas on that.
So, are you trying to...
I know if you're a Twitch like affiliate or something, you're only allowed to like, you can't multi-stream or whatever it is. So if you stream on Twitch and then stream on YouTube, it has to be like a different day or a different game or something specific like that.
So the rules of that is you just can't do the exact same stream on it. So you can't stream like right now. We can't do stream key on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Oh,
you can literally cut stream key on Twitch and then start up again on YouTube 2 seconds later. That's fine.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. That actually explains it a lot better than I had in my head.
Yeah. So, are you trying to do?
So I guess as long as there's no like weird rules about it, then I don't know. That's a really good idea. You got me thinking about it.
So
I've seen. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so I've seen. Because I guess a couple months ago there was like this semi-mass exodus of partners and other streamers going to Mixer because of it's a smaller audience, so they thought they might get more exposure. If you're able to test it, I'm a big proponent of do what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody. So if you have the ability to do that and you can gather data and say you do a multi-stream, but you have Mixer on a 4-second delay or whatever, it's to make it all on the up and up. and you come and you do that for a month, and then at the end of the month you look and go, holy crap, I was much more successful on Mixer than I was on Twitch. That is a point of data that you can use to, potentially change your strategy. But there's no harm in trying. Now I can't do that because I'm locked in full throttle. But if you can do it, I say absolutely try it and see, because it's all data, it's all experimenting, and I'm big into that. So I say just give it a shot.
Yeah,
I actually
absolutely.
think partners are allowed to stream at the same time, right?
No, actually,
no, we are exclusive.
Really?
So one thing I read too about I was talking to some other partners too about this, and a lot of them were saying, yeah, you can't go on any other platform except for Twitch.
Wow.
So the smaller partners were like, honestly, wish I was an affiliate or change my contract up, because you could multi-stream 2 different audiences, boom.
Wow.
Right. So are you trying to do the same channel on like a different, so would you be bringing like the same content and everything over to Mixer? Is that what you're doing? Or are you trying to see if like maybe you should be doing like a different style of streaming? Or
right now I'm in this weird little pit of cess called I don't know what I want to do going forward. But what I would love to do ideally is do like 3 days on Twitch, because I have a lot of people I know on Twitch, all the true people, everybody from old streams and everything, everybody on Twitch. But Mixer would be a whole new audience, not many people I know over there, so that would be like a Tuesday, Thursday kind of thing, and then Twitch would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then probably stick with one genre when I find out where I want to go with that. And when I do that, it could be, hey, if you guys want to follow me over here, go over to Mixer. But if not, I'll see you the next day. And same with Mixer. If you want to call me on Twitch, you don't call me on Twitch, okay, I'll see you the next day.
Yeah, I really don't see any issue or problem with doing that. I mean, you're just kind of testing the waters in both areas, and you're not like going against any TOS or anything. So, I mean, if that's something that you're interested in, like, I feel like you're gonna be questioning this for like basically forever if you don't actually do it. It's one of those things where like it's gonna bother you, and you don't want to wonder what if. So you might as well just give it a shot and see what happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, worst that happens is like everyone here on Twitch is like, oh my god, you're going to Mixer? Oh god, we're just leaving you, unfollowing you, I hate you. And then I literally have the exact same viewer account anyway, so it's like, okay, cool, whatever.
I've already blocked you on Twitter, so I totally know what you're talking about.
I don't blame you. I post a lot of stupid stuff on Twitter.
No, I think it's definitely worth doing though, man. I think you should try it out and see what happens for sure.
And then let us know so we can all get rich with you.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, y'all be the first to know. Like
all the true fans.
If it's like the gold mine, I'm like, yo, I got some pans.
Oh my god.
Alrighty, thank you all for your time. I'm gonna dip out. And good job with the podcast today. Glad to see you all holding this down. I like it. The claps, because.
Oh gosh.
Down. Love y'all. All right, so let me out. Deuces. Love y'all. Good job. Bye.
Love you, bro.
See ya.
Amazing.
That was the one and only Sodomi for you guys.
Beautiful.
All right, we're gonna pull Jess down. She's been waiting for a minute. Jess, how are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Oh man. So.
What can we do for you?
This is a little like, it's kind of a change of topic, and I don't know if you guys have already talked about this before, but how do you guys feel about talking about personal matters with your viewers? Kind of like not like what's going on in your life, but more along the lines of like someone's having an issue like mental health or something like that, and they want to talk to you about it in your chat. I'm okay with that, and I always offer my DMs, and I'm always like there for my viewers and my community. But I don't know if that's gonna make my viewers uncomfortable if I talk about that. And I wanted to get you guys' opinions on that.
Have either one of you had to deal with this, Kenzie or Chef?
I have a few times, and so I've had it happen like 4 times. And one time, someone just like straight out said what was going on and all this stuff, and I had all my chat kind of go in and help him, but it kind of puts me in a weird place, I feel, to like offer help through a live stream. So I'm one of those people that'll say my DMs are open if you want to message me through there, but I don't know, I guess it depends on the person and their personality, because I I get kind of quiet when it happens in my stream, and I just kind of direct them to my messages, because if it's a really personal matter that might like trigger someone else or like do something, I don't know. I think it's a very touchy subject, so my DMs are the place to go for that.
Okay. How about you, Chef?
It hasn't happened very often, especially lately, but I would say that the very few times that it happens, I get very uncomfortable. Not because the person's having an issue, but because I don't feel qualified to help. I'm all for being positive and helping in any way that I can. And if someone's having a rough day or something, then yeah, sure, I'll try to act like an idiot for you. But, if you're having like if somebody comes in and they're having like a legitimate anxiety attack, I am not qualified to help you, and I can be there to support you with words and try to be nice. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm getting uncomfortable now talking about it. Like I just feel weird when someone's having a significant major event happen, and I'm just like, "Hi, I do dumb things in front of a camera, and you're asking me for help, and I don't know what to do." So yeah, it's hard for me. But luckily, I haven't been placed in that situation in a while, so I haven't had to deal with that awkward situation for me.
Okay. So I think what Kenzie was saying with the DMs, I think that's the best option, especially if it's something that like you're worried about other viewers, not feeling comfortable with even like listening to this conversation or having to read that conversation. Like if it's something so far fetched that you think people are gonna be like, whoa, and then like that needs to not happen 100%. You don't want to make your viewers uncomfortable, even if you're comfortable with it. It's about the viewers, you know what I mean? But if it's something small, like, oh, I'm just having a rough day, like by all means, like definitely help that person out. Be like, well, you're in the right place, we'll try to put some positivity in your life for you, something like that, and just try to brighten their day up. Maybe play them a song that they like or something. I don't know, just play happy music, be happy, and try to be energetic for them. But if it's like a real issue, you got to be like, all right, no more of that at all ever again. Like,
Yeah.
DMs are open. That's not for here. Like, kind of like what Chef was playing. I'm just a dude who cooks, and you're like asking me questions on like relationship stuff or something. You know what I mean? Like, or having an actual anxiety attack. Like, it's just, we're just streamers. That's all. Like, we're not therapists or anything. We're not doctors. So the real stuff I think is better for DMs, not on stream. And the lower key stuff, I think you should definitely just try to help them out a little bit, because everybody likes to be picked up for sure. So that's what I got.
I would also add to just be careful, because I've had an experience where someone came and asked me for advice on my chat, and then I was like, I tried to help, but there are so many trolls on Twitch, and this person was one of them, where they made it fake, and then they told me that they called the cops because I myself was trying to commit suicide, and I was like, that's not okay. And then so they told me they called the cops, and then I got freaked out, and I was like, because what is that called? There's a word for it.
Swatting?
When people call the cops. Yeah, something. So anyways, just be careful, because there are so many trolls on Twitch that if you try to be a nice human being and help them, like, they're just trying to mess with you. So just be careful and watch your back, I guess, in a way, because it can be scary.
Definitely. Yeah, you got any other questions for us, Jess?
That was about it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad we could help you out. Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, guys.
Happy Friday.
All right, we got KJ again. KJ, welcome back. What you got for us, man?
So with like new games on Twitch, like just about to come out, like massive streamers like Ninja and Sheld have a very big impact on the viewership of that game. Or if I want to like play that game, should I wait or play at a different time when they're not streaming?
Okay. What do you guys think? Have you guys had to deal with anything like this before?
I would say kind of piggyback off it, honestly, because Ninja started playing Fortnite when it was just barely started. Like, nobody was playing Fortnite, right? So why not play a game that's brand new and people want to watch? Just because Ninja's streaming and he has like a lot of viewers doesn't mean you're not going to get any or meet anybody or anything like that, New games are a great way, I think, to make new friends and kind of test the waters for just Because you sound like you're a variety streamer, right? Like you stream in a lot of different games. Maybe. So I would just say stream the game, dude. It doesn't matter who else is streaming it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
What about you, Chef?
I would say that I think if you want to play it, just play it, because let's use the Spider-Man example, because that game just came out and everyone's loving it right now. If Ninja were to play Spider-Man, for instance, he would get, let's say, 50,000 viewers. He's got sub mode only on, and that is ridiculously fast. And there's an audience of viewers that don't like that. I can't watch him. I like watching Fortnite. I don't like playing it. I like watching Fortnite. I can't watch him because I want to interact with the person that I'm watching. Otherwise, I would go watch a YouTube video. So, there are people that are going to look for smaller streamers that are paying attention to chat at least. And as far as like, I've heard the argument, like, try to stream it when they're not online. You can't change your schedule. I mean, maybe you can, but like, personally, I'm not going to change my schedule because this person streams from, 12 to 8. I'm not going to start streaming from 8 to 2 in the morning because I want to play Spider-Man and try to get the best viewership. I'm going to play Spider-Man because I want to play it, regardless of who's playing it, and just hope, that somebody new pops in and says hi.
Mm-hmm. And I would say someone that watches Ninja religiously, like most of his viewers. Oh, he said his PC crashed, but
yeah.
They're not gonna come and find a small streamer to watch. They obviously like to watch Ninja for a reason, So don't rely and think that you're gonna get like Ninja's viewers. I feel.
Right.
Right. Oh, that'd be the dream, though.
Yeah, right.
Just once.
There's nothing going on. Like, Ninja's not stealing any viewers. He's not keeping anybody from joining your stream. And even the people who are in a stream, like Kenzie was just saying, they're probably not going to be interested in a smaller streamer just because, they're there to watch Ninja. It's because they're there to watch Ninja. They're not looking for anything else necessarily. So I would definitely say don't stress about anybody stealing viewers or whether or not you should be streaming during, after, or before a big streamer has their thing going on. Just play what you want to play when you can. And yeah, I hope he's still listening at least, because he kind of had an issue there, but the timing's so bad. No worries, KJ, no worries at all. But I hope we answered your question for you, man. Thank you so much for that. That was a good question. Let's pull Somber down. Somber, how are you?
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Always good. What you got for us?
I got I listen to your podcast about 4 episodes a day because my work, I kind of just sit for 8 hours, so I have a lot of time to listen to you guys. And I haven't found quite the answer yet from you guys, but now a game that's kind of repetitive, because I stream a lot of Dead by Daylight, and it's kind of the same thing, do generators, run away from the killer. I think I have more of the issue of finding things to talk about when the chat is dead, because, obviously I don't have a lot of followers, I don't have a lot of people active in the chat. How do you guys go about talking to people when you're doing the same thing over and over again? There's no really diversity in it.
Okay.
So with RuneScape, I guess this is kind of the same. When you're training a skill, it's really, really repetitive. So what I do is I try to mix it up a little bit. I have never played Dead by Daylight, so I'm probably not a huge help here. But if you could do anything like a little differently, or like just make it a little more dramatic or something like that, I guess that would maybe help. But I don't know. I just listen to bopping tunes and sing to them. Also, it helps, but I don't know.
Okay, how about you, Chef? You laughing?
Bopping tunes. I love it. Here's the thing. There's no formula for what we do. I could tell you my advice. I could say, well, just talk about how repetitive this is. That could be a thing you talk about. But there's no right or wrong way to do anything. Sometimes it's okay in those instances to be quiet. Like, all right, here we go again. We're doing the same thing. Like, watch Diablo 3 streamers. What do they do? I have no idea what they do, but what do they do? It's the same thing all day, playing that stupid go, grind for loot, and, sell it. Go, grind for loot, try to sell it. There's no difference in that game. You know, even in Diablo 3, it gets overpowered. It's not even for me even fun to play, let alone watch, because you're just mowing through hundreds of enemies. But you know, there's a certain irony about commenting on, you know, how repetitive it is what you're doing, or like Sodomi said in the chat, just self monologue, just talk. It doesn't have to even be about the game. It can be about it. It could be about a story you told last week, because you might not have the same viewers with you now than they were here last week, and they don't know that story. They weren't there, or maybe they were, and they can either ask a question or you have extra point. You know, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's just like I said earlier, that, you know, having some sort of dialogue going is going to be much more interesting to watch, even if the gameplay is repetitive, versus just being quiet, or, you know, just kind of awkwardly not knowing what to say. So I mean, here's your formula, figure it out. No, I don't. It's a terrible thing to say, but ultimately you find something that works and just try. You know, I mean, like I said, just talk.
Well, let me go off that. Do you guys ever like kind of prepare maybe some kind of topics to talk about, or do you guys just hit stream and just let it go as it is?
I used to, and then I got lazy. Because
But did you see before you got lazy? Did you see it maybe improve in your stream, or when you
No.
stopped doing it, did it, you know, negatively affect you?
I say doing it negatively affected me, honestly, because I love to talk to the camera, so it just kind of came as one of those things that I just did. And having to not only play a game and read chat, or at least at that point concern myself with chat and consult my document of PowerPoint presentations of what I was going to say, I just stopped. Because I mean, honestly, at that point, I was like, in the beginning days I played Minecraft, so there wasn't really much going on anyway. But I would just talk.
Great.
Yeah, I think one thing to add in there is when there is dead space and nothing going on, I think reactions to things that happen in games is a huge plus. So if you can hype up a certain moment in a game, and especially like, I guess it'd be a little bit difficult in Dead by Daylight, because it's the same thing happening over and over again. But if you can somehow like find a way to react to, you know, like getting killed by the hunter or something like that, you know, like there's things in there that you can kind of play up just a little bit, to try to make it just a little bit more hyped, a little bit more interesting for the new reviewers that are popping in.
All right.
Anything else,
right.
Sombra?
No, I think you guys have answered it finally. After all the podcasts of listening, we've gone through like 30 of your podcasts in like, you know, a week time.
I'm glad we finally did it for you, man. We were the ones.
you.
Green wasn't even here for it.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Sombra.
Bopping tunes.
Yeah, right. All right. McKittens, how you doing today, man?
I am doing good, hunkering down in the storm of Hurricane Florence right now.
Yikes.
So, just had a question, kind of on kind of this topic of, you know, getting your community involved and stuff like that, getting them interactive. So I play a lot of Overwatch, and one of the biggest issues I have is balancing playing, you know, Overwatch with my viewers, because I notice once they all pop in the channels, they all, you know, want to play, and then when they all start playing, nobody starts talking. Everybody, the chat goes silent. So how do you guys balance that?
Okay. That's a good question.
I'm gonna go off my Fortnite experience, because again, I don't play Overwatch. When people would hop in and be like, can we squad or something like that, whatever the term is, I would say we'll do it like at the end of my stream or something like that, you know, like at a certain time for when I would play with people in my chat. But I didn't really, it sounds bad, but I didn't play with people who came in my chat, because I feel like they were only there to squad up with me. So I would just give them a time at the end of the stream to do it. I don't know if that helps, but
okay. How about you, Chef?
I solved that problem for myself by not playing multiplayer games.
Hey.
Smart.
I'm actually not very good at playing. Like, I tried playing Overwatch. I'm terrible at it, because I just want to run in and shoot things by myself. I don't want to have to worry about 7, 4, 6. I don't know how many people on the team. I don't want to have to worry about doing my role on that team. I just want to run into a room, shoot all the bad guys, and win. So I never really had that problem. I had that problem a little bit with Fortnite when I played it, because I would get random people that wanted to join. But I get what you're saying, where your people that are watching you chatting are now your people, and you just have, like, if you want to do that, like, obviously just do it. That's my motto now, is just do it. Sorry, Nike, but if then you just embrace the change. Okay, I'm not, chat's not moving, but I'm actually talking to real humans right now, and that might be a more entertaining thing, because, like, as a non-Overwatch person, if the person playing it is entertaining, I will watch it. But the game itself, I have no idea what's happening. For me, that game moves too fast, and I'm probably not even watching it. I'm probably just listening most of the time. Especially just depending on my schedule. But if something interesting is being talked about, or your dynamic as a group is good, I mean, they're more than likely going to keep the stream open. So if you're worried about having like a viewer number, then you're probably going to be fine there. More than likely they'll keep the tab open. But as far as chat, like I say, just embrace the fact that you have people that want to play with you.
Yeah, for sure. And then one thing I'll add to that is when I stream Fortnite and people want to hop in and play Fortnite with me, is one thing I'll do is I usually have like one or two people that like I can constantly keep in my game with me, that I have a good I guess connection with them, where we can go back and forth. There's good conversations, and then this person also doesn't talk over me when I'm trying to stream, because they're not streaming when we do this. It's just me, and so they're really good about kind of like quieting down a little bit. So I have one viewer that I always play games with me most of the time. And then as far as other viewers that want to come in, try to limit it at like so that like your whole team isn't your viewers. Like have one or two come in at a time, and cycle them in and out. Just say we're on a rotational basis. That way you have some of your viewers staying in your chat, that are just waiting to get into the next game. You have a couple of viewers who are in there talking to you, keeping the conversations going. And then you can play with some randoms that actually hopefully know what they're doing in the game, and kind of keeping like the gameplay moving along, and it's not just a bunch of people on your team focusing on just hanging out with you. You know what I mean? So I hope that answered your question for you, McKittens. Anything else, man?
Nah. I mean, well, unless I can ask another question. Is that like that? What? I don't see anybody on deck. I didn't know if there was a one rule question.
No.
So another question is, do you guys like have a acceptable mod to like viewer ratio? Because the other issue that I have is I have so many of my viewers who are like veteran that they all want mod.
Okay. Chef, I
And
saw
like,
you.
I want to get them to them, give them the mods, but I feel like if somebody comes in the channel and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" and everyone's a mod, they're gonna be like, "Okay, what's going on?"
All right, I saw Chef shaking his head.
Yeah. So first of all, McKittens, you sound like an angel. Holy crap! I just had to say that out loud really quick. So I had this experience where I used to have a lot of mods, and now I don't have. I think I have 2 mods now, legit. So I found that your chat, not like the members of your chat, but like just your chat culture will dictate if you need more moderators. I would say going into a chat that has a ton of moderators, but like I'd say if the moderator to viewer ratio is too high, it can be awkwardly intimidating to talk, or it might feel weird, or that this streamer just gives everybody moderator status. But to me, being a moderator is a job, not something that you get because you've been around for a long time. Now, that's not to say that your mods shouldn't have been around for a long time, but if you only need 2 mods because your chat's tame and you don't need to ban people or run commands all the time, then that's fine. But if you have a wild, raucous chat and you're banning people every day and having to run all sorts of crazy commands and all this stuff, then yeah, you're going to need more things. But I would say if I'm a viewer, or if a viewer has been watching my stream for a long time and they're like, "Hey man, I've been watching you since 2012, why don't you make me a mod?" But I don't need mods, then what are you watching? Are you just watching me because you want to become a moderator? Because being a moderator is work. You don't just get a green sword next to your name and everything's cool. Like, I make my mods work. And when I lost, I went through a phase, I lost a ton of viewership, so I went from like 5 or 6 mods to 2, because I don't, and sometimes I don't even need 2. but they have different schedules, so it works out. But your channel, your chat, your community is going to dictate whether or not it is necessary, and I think that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the issue I have is I have like mods that like will always want to come play with me. So then I'm like, hey guys, gonna get a shout out for so and so streamer who just rated, and it's like silence. I'm like, hey guys, hey. So I mean, I feel like I have too many mods, but you mentioned the schedule thing and stuff like that. It's sounds weird. Like, how do you manage that? Do you just kind of know, oh, this person's on at this time, or do you like actually say, hey, I need you to be on at this time? Because you really can't force, so to speak.
Right. For me, it just kind of works out. One of my moderators is in Belgium, and one of my moderators is in the same time zone as me. So if I'm streaming early, my European friend usually is around to take the reins. And if any other time, my other guy is around. Now, I have a very, very tame chat. Like, I think I've banned one person in the last like 2 or 3 months. So my moderating needs aren't very high. I don't got a lot of viewers, but even when we do, even if there's a bannable thing, like I'm not usually doing something where it's a pain to stop what I'm doing. If I'm cooking and I'm like chopping an onion or something, and somebody comes in and says a whole bunch of racist, terrible things, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing and come over and ban that person. It's not a huge effect on me, but it's different if you're in a game. I understand. So
But
my
the
situation is
souffle.
a little bit different.
How about you, Kenzie?
So I would say, because when I started streaming, I modded everybody that I thought was my friend. Like literally, I was like, "You have a sword, and you have a sword, and you can have a sword too."
I
Like
think
everybody.
I did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, when I did like a mod purge, I guess you would call it, a while ago, and everybody came in and they're like, "Why am I not a mod anymore?" Like they were mad at me for taking away their mod, but they weren't in my chat, and if they were, they almost took advantage of it, and so I would say just get like 3 people or so, 3 or 2, that you can trust to be there if you stream, and if you need a mod to help you out, but don't overdo it, because I think at one point I had like 25 mods. I was like, why am I doing this? So just be careful, and only mod who will do what they're supposed to, because like Chef said, it's a job technically, to oversee the chat and help you out when they can.
Yeah. Another thing to think about is like if you do mod someone, that person, like a moderator, as far as a viewer is concerned, they should be someone who is like an extension of the streamer. So it has to be someone who has the same mentality towards your stream as you do, where they want the best for your stream, they want the best for you as a streamer, and they don't want they want to keep certain things out of there the same as you do. And they should also be someone who kind of keeps chat going at the same time. Like a mod, like not all of them I guess, but most mods shouldn't be lurkers, because like seeing that one person who's a moderator in the chat consistently talking, that'll keep other viewers who are fresh coming in, that'll keep them chatting, and especially that moderator should be super welcoming to newer viewers. Like having just another viewer say, hey random person, how are you doing today, thanks for joining the stream, as opposed to Sodomi in here who's talking right now, look at him go. Like if he welcomes a new viewer who comes in here, like that viewer is going to be super thankful that a moderator took the time out of their day just to say how you doing. Like I think that's definitely a huge part of being a mod. And so if your mods are lurking and just waiting for you to invite them to the next game, they're not being a moderator by any means, in my opinion. So I hope that answered your question for you, McKittens. You got anything else, man?
I think I'm all good. I'm just waiting for somebody else to get on deck here.
Okay. Well, I know we have some more questions in the chat and everything, but do you have any other questions or anything?
No, I'm
Feel
just
free
gonna
to
go
ask away.
I'm just gonna go hunker down, do some day drinking for this hurricane. Y'all have a good one, okay?
There you go, dude. Drink a couple
Stay
hurricanes
safe
for us, man. All right, looks like we got Sodomi. Let's pull him in. Sodomi, welcome back.
Greetings. I didn't want we don't want to have that like dead a little dead space. So I have a little easy question. Do you recommend streaming events like Nintendo Direct, the Apple's buy my overpriced product merchandise event, and like things like that.
You mean like Apple's announcing something and you want to stream that event?
Yeah, this is assuming you have permission to do so.
Okay. What do you think, Kenzie?
I would say if you have permission and it's like something you do, like, because there are people that are variety streamers and then that stream one game or that stream cooking, you know, do it, you know, but I would just, make sure that you have permission, because a while ago there were people streaming like that boxing match or whatever it was, you know, and people got banned because of it, because they didn't have the right to do it, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So just make sure you have their permission. But
Yeah.
go for it.
See, that was stupid though. That was stupid. I mean, we all enjoyed it, but like that was stupid.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd watch it if you're making like, you know, good commentary about it, because if you're just like sitting there staring at the screen, like they could watch it by themselves, you know. But if you're making it entertaining, I guess, yeah, do it. That'd be cool.
What do you think, Chef?
But
oh shit.
Silence.
Yeah, my bad. That's not me. What do you think, Chef? What do you have to say about that?
I say yes. Next question.
Okay. Perfect.
Quality
Have
answer.
a good night. I'll see y'all later.
Wow, no. Don't leave us.
Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, if you have permission to do it, and it's something that you want to do, and you have a community that would appreciate, or you know, a community that you can have a conversation around it in your own stream, then yeah, do it. Absolutely, it would be. It's community building, you know, because anyone could go watch. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop streaming now because the Apple event is live. I don't know who watched that. Samsung. So yeah, you know, we could all go watch this separately, or you know, I'm gonna switch over. You can hang out here, and we can all chat about it together, and actually, you know, have a conversation about it. Or everyone can get in Discord, and we can have like a movie, you know, almost a movie night watching this event. I'd say absolutely do it. Why not?
Yeah, and I think you touched on a really good thing there, is if you have a community that's interested in it, like a community that would appreciate you streaming the Apple event. Because I know my community, like I don't know if maybe some of them would want to watch that, but I know as a whole my community probably wouldn't really care too much to watch that. So it depends on who you have that would show up, I guess, for sure. And like they both said, if you have the okay to do so. So I hope that answered that for you, Sodomi. Anything else, man?
Yes, one last question.
Yeah.
This is an easy one. Is D-Bear awesome or not?
Die-Bear?
Die-Bear. Did I say D-Bear?
Yes,
Yep.
you did.
You mean DJ
All right,
Bear?
I'm fired. GG. I'm out. Bring them in.
Die-Bear is awesome, by the way. Michigander, fellow Michigander. So yes.
Perfect. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later.
See you, man. Ooh, we got Small Panda. Small Panda.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
Always
Super
good.
Great.
Yay. So, I touched on this during the late night podcast with Snoop Hogg, but I kind of want to get your guys' opinion on it as well.
Okay.
So what do you do when you have the mature audience setting on, but you still get young ones into the stream? I know that they said, you know, as a streamer, once they've said, yes, I'm over this age, it's not really your responsibility unless they say something. But what do you guys think?
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what to do in this scenario, because I don't know if that breaks any TOS violations or anything. But in my case, like, I do have this happen sometimes. And so one thing I'll say, because I definitely have the warning up, you know, saying like 17 or up, and they have to acknowledge that. So like that's one thing that they're agreeing to, is acknowledging that they're, you know, of, you know, the right age to be watching your content. And so if they say what grade they're in or what age they are, you got to tell them like, hey, don't do that. Like, even if you're above that age, really no reason to be talking about how old you are anyway. So I would definitely put a huge hammer down on that. You don't have to ban them or time them out. Maybe you can give them a 1 second timeout just to clear that chat out of there if you want. But just make it known that that's something that they shouldn't be doing, and that they agreed to being a certain age because of your mature content warning at the beginning of like when they first watch your stream. But and sorry to take the reins on that first answer. That happens to me a lot, and I'm very like used to that happening in my channel now. But have you guys had to deal with that at all in your channels?
I haven't, honestly. I feel like I'm a really family-friendly stream. I only have that warning on there because if I am playing a game and I'm in Discord with my friends, they're the ones that usually make it mature content. But because if I'm just streaming by myself, I feel like I shouldn't have that warning on. So if there is someone who's like, 16 or something, or what's the age, 13 or something like that. What is it? Mature content. Anyways, below the age.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't mind it, I guess, because I don't talk about anything that it shouldn't be, or that's for mature content, I guess. So I'm not very much help with this topic. I would just go with what Belloc said. So.
How about you, Chef?
So here's the thing. I am pretty generally a family-friendly streamer. In real life, I don't swear very much. So I'm able to turn it off pretty easily on stream. So I don't have the mature marker on my stream. I will say I can offer my own opinion though. So in my rules, I think I still do, but I definitely did have a line that said don't talk about chat or don't talk about age. Because what ends up happening is somebody says, well, I'm turning 18 tomorrow, and somebody's like, wow, you're 18, I'm 21, wow, I'm 13. Okay, now we have a problem.
Yep.
Because Twitch has their own age limits. And I've had to ban people that quote unquote joked about how old they were being under the age for Twitch, and then I'd get a whisper message, or my mods would get a whisper message saying, you banned me, I was just joking. Well, we can't tell, and I don't want to deal with that. I would say if you are a streamer who has mature content and you swear a lot and that's your thing, that's totally cool. If somebody squeaks in and says or doesn't say, and they're 13 or 14 years old and they're watching you, it's not up to you to change who you are or what you're doing. And if their mommy finds out, like, that's their problem, not your problem. And as a father of children, if I found out my kid was watching a mature stream and they're swearing all the time and everything, yeah, I'm gonna go and deal with it on my end of things. Like there are even times, like I did a cooking stream with my son for his birthday, and we did Harry Potter thing, and I told him in the beginning, I said, do not read chat, don't do it. Of course, so what does he do? He reads chat. But I also, at the beginning and periodically throughout, I even put on my screen, like, my kid is here, he's 7, let's keep chat pretty tame. And so I'd watch him staring at chat, and I said, you know what, we're done, you're out, go. And that's my problem. I dealt with it by dealing with him. I got mad at chat because one of them was my moderator. He was cursing. I was like, you idiot, what are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry, I got moderator? Mad. No, still is. Because he's my boo. But I kicked my kid out. I was like, my kid was being a jerk anyway, but he was I told him, don't do this thing. He did this thing, and I said, you're out, deuces, happy birthday, go to your room. I'm gonna eat this food without you. So that's how I dealt with it. And even I wasn't doing anything mature, but I think as a parent, there's a lot of responsibility that's placed on parents to make sure, to what extent you can, that your kid is watching age appropriate material. And that's awkwardly ending this sentence.
Oh my god.
It makes a lot of sense though, like not changing your content up just because someone says that they're a younger age. That's definitely on their parents to deal with, not for you to try to fix your stuff to make it suitable for one specific person. So you made a good point with that for sure. Panda, do you have any other questions on that or anything?
I do actually. Not specifically on that, but
Okay.
as family-friendly streamers, do you guys have any like words that you use in place of curse words. Like I myself, and most of you probably know this, I use biscuit in place of words.
That's
So I'll
cute.
say biscuits, gosh dang biscuits, or biscuit monger, you know, those sort of things. Do you have anything like that?
I'm from Utah, so I was like taught basically not to swear. So honestly, I just don't swear. I say oof a lot for some reason as of lately, but I yeah, I just don't swear, so I don't know. I'm not very much that either.
Okay.
I use I use kind of the standard. I don't have anything special. I do have a perk sort of thing. So like an option. So like everyone's got stream loyalty points. Well, you in my stream you can redeem them for a wheel spin, and one of the options on wheel spin is that the person who wins that gets to decide what I use in place of curse words. So like I said, I don't swear, but if I were to, instead of saying dang, I have to now say waffles or
Okay.
or whatever. Coconut was a big one because I hate coconuts. Kind of a meme in my stream. But so like, oh, holy coconuts, I burnt the thing. That would never happen though, but as an example. So I did like waffles because I enjoy eating them. So I think holy waffles just sounds a lot better to me than holy crap. So it varies, but nothing. I don't have anything funny that I lean on as a alternative.
I like biscuits. I'm gonna steal that.
Biscuits is good.
That's okay. Go ahead.
As an Army veteran, I tend to swear a lot, and it's something that I've tried to break it so many times, and it's just something that I can't. Like for this podcast, I try not to swear. You'll catch me every once in a while with like a minor one, but I try really hard. But generally, it's often, and I remember that there was one charity stream that we did for TRUgaming, and we were not allowed to swear by any means, and I did relatively well with it, and instead of using swear words, I would say freedom, and like that ended up being like the biggest meme in my channel, and then it ended up actually like making so my tier 1 emote is my face in front of an American flag. And yeah, like not too many people know that that's like what started it, but that's 100% what started like there you go, Panda, exactly. So yeah, I've definitely had to use words before to separate or to swap out instead of using a swear word. It's tough, but sometimes you have to do it. Oh my god. But yeah, any other questions or anything, Panda?
No, that does it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for the questions.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. For those of you listening, by the way, Chad is posting my emote right now. That's what we were laughing at. So if you can't see it, that's why we're laughing.
I love it.
But it looks like it's all the live callers. It looks like we have a few questions that we can try to run through real quick because it's starting to get a little close. Let's see. So, who is this? Jack the Streaming Snack asked, any good free-to-play games for streaming on PS4? Also for Kenzie, tips on starting to stream RuneScape. So, hey. I guess we'll get that one out of the way because there's only one of us, I'm pretty sure, that streams RuneScape. And
I love RuneScape. I don't know. There's really no tips for starting to stream RuneScape because this sounds weird because it's almost always like number 10 at least on the Twitch directory. Like it's a popular game. Or old school RuneScape. Don't stream RuneScape 3 because RuneScape 3 sucks. Anyways, old school RuneScape, man. I promise you, if you start to stream it, you will get people in your chat because it's such a good community for the most part, and it's just a fun game. But make sure it's old school RuneScape, and just do it. Like honestly, just do it because it's amazing. And tell me when you do it because I will be there. But
there
yeah,
you go.
There's that.
So, Chef, I'm assuming you don't stream any RuneScape.
I will respectfully pass this moment that I would answer.
Okay. You sure? I feel like you have something you want to say here.
I have absolutely nothing I want to say. I have no experience with PS4. I have the only free-to-play game. Well, I played Path of Exile, but that's not on PS4, I don't think. Anyway, yeah, I have nothing to offer here. The extent of my RuneScape knowledge is a backup battery pack that I got at TwitchCon last year that has OSRS on it.
Dude, beautiful. Wow.
It's legit. The thing's really heavy. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I could. So, like.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I need to go to Twitch. I don't even know if they're gonna be there, but I need to go to TwitchCon this year, man.
Did you guys know that OSRS Mobile is coming soon? According to
Yeah,
this?
October 31st. It was supposed to come last year, right? Just in like January of last year, but it's taken them this long to even get it out. But for the PlayStation 4 thing, I think Paladins is free to play, and I played that on my PlayStation when I was a console peasant. But
wow.
Paladins.
Oh my
that's
God.
probably
Just
my
drop
go-to.
the mic right there. I know Destiny right now is free to play. You have to pay for the expansions and everything, but Destiny 2 is free on PlayStation 4 right now. Yeah, she definitely went there.
Is that with PlayStation Plus or just in general?
I believe it's with PlayStation Plus.
Darn it.
So never mind. It's not 100% free,
but still.
Yeah.
Well, if you play on PlayStation, I'm sure you have PlayStation Plus at least.
There's so many free games that come with it. It's so worth it.
Dude, there was a game called Broforce a while ago, and I loved that game on my PlayStation. It was the best game.
Definitely get Broforce. That's the tip right now. But thank you so much for that question, Jack. It looks like we got Die Bear waiting to call in. Die Bear, how are you?
Hello.
What's going on?
What's happened?
So this has been weighing on my mind for a little bit, but is Sodomi cool? I mean, no. Okay, that's
no, he's not.
So this is a lighthearted question that's kind of been coming up, but how do you get a group of streamers in your area together for, I don't know, breakfast? What would you do? Vlak may be, a good resource for this.
Okay. So I haven't actually done that, but one thing I would do is I would just reach out to them and just ask them like, hey, we should legitimately all go out for breakfast and just hang out, have some fun, just the streamers, and just get to know each other a little bit more off stream and just kind of hang out because like having other streamers in your area, like I haven't been able to connect with any other ones yet. I also haven't tried. But I think that would be beneficial, and I know that we both live like less than 30 minutes from each other right now, so I think this is like a hint at something. So this might be the best way to get breakfast with another streamer is go on the podcast with them and ask them what they think would be the best way to do it. So I think you answered your own question. But yeah.
So Cameron's going to be coming home to Detroit, so what I'm going to do is put something out to try to coordinate it. Cameron, let me know when you're gonna be here again. But we may have something going on in Detroit, people. So I'll probably coordinate through my Discord just to let you guys know.
Have you guys ever done anything like that, Kenzie or Chef?
I haven't, but I know people in this other little stream team thing that I'm in have met up and they've done it. So I don't know how they planned it, but I know people do it quite a bit. So good luck. That's my tip. Good luck.
We've got Twitch Orlando in my area, and they do occasional organized meetups. In theory, I could reach out to most of them and say, "Hey guys, let's go meet out for breakfast or whatever." But I'm, believe it or not, socially anxious. Like I'm an introvert, 100%. Regardless of what you think by watching me on stream or on this or listening on this podcast. So I would have a very hard time unless I really, really closely knew them to meet out and do something like that. So I've never really reached out to do that. I wouldn't feel comfortable. That being said, I think there is a huge gap in the meetup market for something like that because in my experience, like TwitchCon or any of the Twitch Orlando events that I went to are always at the loudest places, and you're having to yell at the top of your lungs to speak to somebody, and you're trying to network, and it's like, here's my business card. It's like, you know what? Let's go get freaking sandwiches at Panera Bread. And just sit down and listen to classical music and just talk. Let's talk about ourselves. I think there's a market for that. That I would absolutely try to go to that if I wasn't so like nervous about that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of loud venues, so that's a good point. Maybe that's something I'll start up in the area because there's someone from Ohio who wants to come up and meet us, and with Valley being, you know, in the southern burbs, it's easier to probably pick a place down there to let people come up to. It's like an hour or two drive. So, all right, I will share what I do if I make this work.
Please do.
Sweet.
Please do.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Diebear.
You're welcome.
All right, so I think we had. Let me see if I can still see the question in chat. Let's see. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what are some tips you might be able to share on conversing with someone in chat that has a language barrier, speaks poor English, but doesn't quite understand the environment of your stream? Example, had an international viewer that was chatting and seemed nice but kept bringing up mildly controversial politics involving our countries. Yikes. What do you guys say about that?
I think that's happened to me before too. Like you get people and they're from another country and they want to make a commentary on a current politician or the relationship between our country and theirs, and as a streamer you have to shut it down unless you want to have that in your environment and you're okay with that. I am not okay with that because I am not okay with that, and I will tell that person or people or whoever that that is a controversial topic and we try to not we try not to discuss those things because it can get really heated. Even if it doesn't get heated, it can be uncomfortable. So yeah, I'll go as far as like time that person out or ban them if they, because I think, like I said, I don't get stuff like this happen very often, but when it does, it's usually like an almost over the top thing. So I think the last time it did happen, I ended up having to ban the guy because he just kept pushing it and trying to like reword or rephrase what he was saying. Like, no, this isn't a middle school paper that you can just copy off the internet. We're not doing that. So just like, bye. Because I'm not about to do that. I get enough of that with my own family. I'm not about to start like dealing with random people on the internet. Like, thanks for watching. You can keep a tab open, but you can't talk about that. Get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Kenzie?
I would say like Barry said in the chat, I guess it might be trolling because I've had that happen before, but they just know how to spot a troll, I guess. And if it gets to the point where it's like just super dramatic and over the top, maybe just because I think Ninja has it so it's English only or something like that. So just maybe do that occasionally. But I have a ton of people from different countries in my chat, and even though there is a language barrier, they don't really talk about politics, or they've never talked about politics. So I guess I've never been in that exact situation unless it was a troll. So I don't know. That's tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, shutting it down instantly if it's something that you don't want in your chat, I think is huge. You have to let that person know, like, we don't talk about that kind of stuff here, especially like depending on how controversial it is. Like, even if they're not getting it, if they keep bringing it up, like, it's gotta go somehow. So time them out, give them a couple warning timeouts, like if they keep bringing it up, because maybe they're literally just not getting it, that you guys don't talk about that kind of stuff there. And if they keep bringing it up after a couple of timeouts, then it's them that has to go. You can only control, you can only control so much up until it comes up to a ban. So that's I mean, that's my advice.
What if, now bear with me guys, what if by discussing this right now we are falling subject to a troll of someone who is got us.
Oh my god. Jebaited into the very conversation.
Absolutely.
I have a quick question for Chef. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You got to call in.
Oh, okay.
And leave, come back.
So you said that you're you're an introvert, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am too, and you went to TwitchCon last year, right? How did you handle that? Like, was that awkward, or did it stress you out?
It was terrifying.
Really? Okay, cool.
It was absolutely. Now I will say, I'll preface this by saying it was one of the best experiences of my life. Like, I had a blast. A couple things that saved my life, metaphorically, of course. I happened to meet up with two people that didn't mind me being their third wheel because they were a couple, and I kind of already knew them a little bit through stream, so they were super great. So I had kind of like a safety blanket. So if I got too, out on the floor and kind of didn't know what to do, like I had a group, and I think that's important. They were my anchor people, as DJ Bear says. Yes, I had an anchor that I could go to, and then at a certain point, I'm walking around the convention floor literally with an apron full of. I had parlor keychains that Pure Chaos made for me, and business cards that I needed to get rid of. And I'm walking around. I wore my whole outfit. I wore my chef apron and my hat and everything. Oh gosh, there it goes, falling off me.
Oh man, that's close.
So I had the whole outfit going, and I'm walking around, and I'm like, I have to get over this because, like, I just had to do it. So I mean, and as stupid and stereotypical, I just did it. I think the first person I actually walked up to introduce myself, like I barely watched the guy, and I was like, "Hey, are you this person?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am. What's going on, man?" I was like, "Okay, whew." Awkwardness averted. But no, it was really tough because there's a big part of me that was like, I just spent a ton of money coming out here. I live in Florida. Like, to fly to California was ridiculous.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, I was like, I need to make this worth it, and I'm not gonna go back home feeling worth it if I go home with the same amount of business cards that I left with, or if I didn't actually, or I relied solely on people coming to talk to me, because how egotistical is that? But I got, and the hat helped because a lot of random people would ask me about the hat, like, "Whoa, what are you, some sort of chef?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Heck yeah. Nice.
It's kind of my thing, and that that opens a conversation. And once I get spoken, I don't know how it is for your introvertedness, but once I get going, I'm fine. It's the getting going part that kind of freaks me out. But yeah, the first, like, it was. I got there, I was like, "What have I done?" Everywhere, and I'm surrounded, and there's no personal space, and so that was. Oof. But yeah, we managed. It was good though. I would recommend, if you have the opportunity, if anyone has the opportunity to go, please, find a way, because it was eye-opening.
Nice.
Yeah, and I can totally attest to that, because before TwitchCon, like, Twitch was the first thing I ever did that was just like out there, like I've always been kind of, especially like during my high school days, like I was super, I had a tough social life in school basically, and after getting out of high school and everything, still didn't really talk to anybody. Like, I had like the people I was forced to be with, which was basically army people, and then work people outside of that, and then family obviously, and outside of that really didn't do too much. And so going to TwitchCon last year was mentally taxing beforehand. It was like one of those things where, like, there's, like Chef was saying, there's so many people there, but you definitely don't want to waste your time, and you want to come back feeling like you accomplished something. And so, like he was saying, it's one of those things where you just have to tell yourself, like, I'm gonna make this worth it, and I have to talk to people. Like, you can't go to TwitchCon and not talk to anybody and still feel like you accomplished anything. So one thing I did was, I was hanging out with, obviously, Dan, Doc, and GreenChord, because we were all there at TwitchCon. And outside of that, the first person I talked to was Dr. Disrespect, and that was weird. It was really weird, and it made it even, like, so what made it even more difficult is, like, he had just finished, like, having a group of people take pictures with him, and he was starting to walk away. I'm like, "Hey, Doc," and then he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Can I get a picture with you?" He's like, "Sure." I'm like, so he's pissed. So, I just pissed off one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, but here I am taking a selfie with him like we're cool, and so, like, that kind of, like, and then after that, like, he doesn't say anything to me or anything, so I was like, well, it's really not that bad. And so the next person I talked to is another partner streamer who's much smaller than Dr. Disrespect, Shadow Fox, who I've actually been following for a while. And yeah, exactly. And so I'm like staring at this tattoo I see on an arm, and I'm like, I know that tattoo. And then I look at the face, I'm like, I know that streamer. And so I walk over, I'm like, "You're a Shadow Fox," like all awkward and, like kind of like stumbling on my words. She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I watch you sometimes, like, super awkward, just terrible." Like, I was like, "I've been following you for a while." And she's like, "Cool, you want to take a selfie?" I'm like, "Yep." And so we took a selfie and we talked for a little bit, and then after that I realized, like, well, like, people seem pretty open here, so you might as well just talk to as many people as possible. And then you also have to realize that everybody there, like, Twitch as a whole is a bunch of people with relatively awkward social lives, or else why would we be here if we had a bunch of friends back in school and we still have a bunch of friends outside of Twitch now? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want people to get like the wrong message. But everybody there is the same mentality as you. We're all kind of introverted people who are socially awkward, and we all like streaming. So you have a bunch of the same people essentially in one giant area, and they're gonna understand where you're coming from with pretty much everything. Just be yourself and have fun, and make sure you talk to everybody.
Awesome. That's like super good to hear, because I'm kind of stressed about that.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Like Chef was saying, like it's mentally taxing for sure. But you just got to get it done. It sounds super cliche, like he was saying as well. But you just got to do it. You just have to come to terms. Yeah, exactly, like Nike.
And especially being with True and having this community, you will have people that you can fall back on if things get a little bit too rough for you. I mean, if you decide to go solo for a minute and you get out there and you're like, oh, I feel weird, bring somebody with you, or you can go back and find one of those people that you've already been hanging out with to make it a lot more comfortable. And I think being comfortable is the most important.
Awesome. Good. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that wraps it up for the podcast today, guys. So as a quick little outro, Chef, you want to tell us a little bit about your stream, where we can find you on social media that you don't use and other things?
Absolutely. So I'm one of those cool pleb guys that has ChefLethalPlays across all platforms. So twitter.com/ChefLethalPlays, twitch.tv/ChefLethalPlays, Instagram @ChefLethalPlays. There's also a YouTube channel that doesn't get uploaded, but it has ChefLethalPlays for archived content. And like I said, primarily cooking content. If you're interested in learning how to cook, knowing how to cook, or something like that, please check it out. Not only do I enjoy seeing new faces, I enjoy teaching. I went to culinary school. Please make my education worth it by asking me food questions. I guarantee I will answer them as best as I can.
Okay, and Kenzie, how about you?
I'm Kenziees across most platforms, just except for Instagram. I think it's kenzie.es or something like that. But yeah, I stream RuneScape. Super entertaining stuff. I just died on my hardcore Iron Man, so we're gonna start a new one or continue on that one. But yeah, fun stuff, man. I don't have as cool of a story as Chef.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. It was fun having you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, guys, so we're going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We really do appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Love you all.